Hi, I'm Albert Allen, Realtor in the great city of Austin, Texas, and I just wanted to go over the CARES Act and how it applies to real estate and what you need to know. The CARES Act, also known as the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, was actually signed into law on Friday, March 27th of 2020. So what I'm going to share is a breakdown of the CARES Act for small businesses, independent contractors, and how it applies to real estate. So in particular, I'd like to talk about one, unemployment insurance for self-employed, IRS Tax Filing Extension, that's amazing, direct cash payments, mortgage relief, also early withdrawals from IRAs and 401ks. There's a part about employee retention credit and the payroll tax credit. Also, for multifamily property owners, the forbearance for that, the eviction moratorium, also the economic injury disaster loans, and then lastly, the Paycheck protection program. So the first is the unemployment insurance for self-employed. So these benefits will be administered by state. So keep checking here in Texas with the Texas Workforce Commission webpage for updates on that one. If you've recently exhausted your benefits, there's no action needed from you. They'll determine if you qualify and notify you by mail or by email if you're still eligible. If you're self-employed, a contract worker, or if you previously worked in a position that did not report wages, you still may qualify for unemployment. So you can apply online or by phone. Now, just reach out to me and I'll forward you all of the information for this, all the links that you have, and a little bit more detail. Second I'd like to talk about is the IRS Tax Filing Extension. So the deadline for filing returns for 2019 has been officially moved 3 months to July 15th of 2020. The extension also applies for tax payments owed for 2019 and estimated tax payments for 2020. For people that use the extension, no late fees will incur, and you don't have to file extra paperwork. The extension is automatic. Third are direct cash payments. These are to relieve the financial pressures many Americans are undergoing, and the federal government will send $1,200 in cash to each person who adjusted gross income is less than $75,000, and for joint filings, $150. People who earn up, more than $99,000 for single tax filers, you would also receive reduced amounts. Also, eligible families with children would receive $500 per child. So the IRS will send these out these rebates automatically by direct deposit or to your address that you provided on your last tax return. The fourth is mortgage relief. So what you like to do is contact your loan servicer to have your payments postponed if you want to do this option. Homeowners who have federally backed mortgages, these are the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, your FHA, USDA loans, and if you're experiencing financial hardship due to the coronavirus pandemic, you may request a forbearance for up to 180 days. Now, during this period, the borrowers will not incur in fees. You won't have any penalties or interest due for not making the mortgage payments. But to receive the deferral, you don't have to prove any of the conditions of your finances. You only have to attest to it. You may request an additional 180 days of mortgage relief if needed. Now, if your mortgage is held by a private lender, you should contact that lender to see if it's providing if they are also providing mortgage relief. Now, many banks are suspending payments or offering special terms. So please always verify with your bank before you do something like this. The fifth is you can make early withdrawals from IRAs and 401ks. Now, if you have a retirement account like an ROA, you can take early withdrawals up to $100,000 from those accounts without having to pay the 10% early withdrawal penalty. How cool is that? Now, if you're under 59.5 years of age and you have a tax qualified retirement plan, you can withdraw up to $100,000 in 2020 without having to pay the 10% early withdrawal penalty as well. But you have to pay regular income tax on the withdrawal over 3 years unless you pay it back over that time period. Now, if you have a retirement account, contact your plan administrator for a distribution form if you need to access those retirement funds. Also, let me reiterate, I'm a realtor not an accountant. So please consult your tax advisor or CPA prior to making these withdrawals. Now, the distribution will be counted as income and you will have to pay taxes over 3 years. Also, people who take the distribution will have a 3-year window to repay the money if they wish. The provision for penalty-free early withdrawals does not apply to pension plans. The sixth thing I'd like to talk about is the employee retention credit or payroll tax credit. Now, you can claim a refundable employee retention tax credit against payroll taxes for up to $5,000 per employee under certain circumstances. Now, employers and self-employed individuals can delay the payment of their employer portion of the FICA. So these are the Social Security payroll taxes and 1/2 of the SECA, the self-employed taxes, until after 2020. Half is due 2021, the other half 2022. Again, consult your tax consultant. The seventh thing I'd like to talk about is the multifamily property forbearance. Now, the CARES Act make this available, this forbearance available for multifamily properties. The forbearance provision applies to owners of properties with a federally backed multifamily mortgage loan, meeting the following conditions. One, the mortgage is a permanent loan, not including construction or other temporary financing. Also, the buyer was current on the payments as of February the 1st of 2020, and the borrower is experiencing a financial hardship due to COVID-19 emergencies. Now, the owners also must comply with the limitations on evictions and late fees. The eighth is requesting forbearance. Borrowers meeting these criteria may submit oral or written requests for forbearance to the loan servicer. Now, upon doing so, the forbearance takes effect. There's no need for approval. Upon receiving the request, the servicers will provide the forbearance for 30 days. Now, borrowers may further extend up to an additional 30 days upon request, and you have the option to discontinue the forbearance at any time. Now, a crucial concept to understanding is the payments are not forgiven. They still remain due, and the ability to submit a request ends on the sooner of, one, the national security emergency formally ending, or December 31st of 2020. Now, there are also limitations on evictions and late fees for the duration of the forbearance. The owners may not, one, evict or initiate an eviction solely for non-payment, or two, charge any late fees or penalties for late payments. So the borrowers also may require a tenant to vacate sooner than 30 days after providing notice or issues, and a notice to vacate until after the forbearance expires. The ninth thing I'd like to talk about is the eviction moratorium, kind of what we were just talking about. The CARES Act creates a national moratorium on filing evictions, issuing a notice to vacate, or charging late fees or penalties associated with tenant non-payment of rent for 120 days. Now, this moratorium applies to any property that is insured, guaranteed, supplemented, protected, or assisted in any way by HUD, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the Rural Housing Voucher Program, or covered by the Violence Against Women's Act of 1974. All right? The 10th are the Economic Injury Disaster Loans. Now, the Small Business Association's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program provides small businesses with working capital loans that provide vital economic support to small businesses to help them overcome the temporary loss of revenue that they're experiencing. Now, who's eligible? Well, private, nonprofit organizations, small agricultural cooperatives, businesses, cooperatives, ESOPs are also, and tribal business concerns with 500 or fewer employees, independent contractors and sole proprietors, whether or not they are self-employed. So a lot of people. 1 million small businesses are eligible to receive up to $10,000, and the loan can be used for many allowable purposes under the program. For example, to provide paid sick leave, maintain payroll, and meet increased cost, even to make rent or mortgage payments and repaying unmet obligations. Now, the last CARES program I'd like to mention is the Paycheck Protection Program. So the Paycheck Protection Program provides small businesses with funds to pay up to 8 weeks of payroll costs, including benefits, Funds can also be used to pay interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. Now, there is a Paycheck program, FAQ, from the Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is very helpful, and I'll include that as well. Just ask me for it. These funds are fully forgiven, and the funds are provided in the form of loans that will be, again, fully forgiven when you use them for payroll cost, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. But at least 75% of the forgiven amount must be used for payroll. Loan payments will also be deferred for 6 months. No collateral or personal guarantees are required, so neither the government nor lenders will charge small businesses any fees. However, like I said, you must keep employees on the payroll or rehire them quickly. Forgiveness is based on employers maintaining a quickly rehiring employees and maintaining their salary levels. Forgiveness will be reduced if full-time headcount declines or if salaries and wages do decrease. So all small businesses are eligible. Small businesses with 500 or fewer employees, including nonprofits, again, veteran organizations, tribal concerned, self-employed individuals, sole proprietorships, and independent contractors. Applications have opened on April the 3rd for small businesses, so they're already open, and on April the 10th for independent contractors and self-employed individuals, we can apply. We encourage you to apply as quickly as you can because there is a funding cap. Again, consult your local lender or banker to apply. I do hope you all are doing well, and I hope this helps. Ping me in the comments or via direct message, and I'll send you the full report that I have with all the links to these great resources. Until next time, living life means living well.